Niggas my shit. This is the home and fly shop. Yeah. This is where the bitches gonna watch pockets. Yeah. When I'm on TV, I gotta look good because I know the whole block watch.
The coast with a live look at New York City, the Big Apple here. Mayor Eric Adams coming under fire for a new plan to try and control the city's homeless problem. Take a listen.
And we want to be clear, we don't want us to walk away from this conference because someone is standing on the train talking to themselves, they're going to be committed, because then we're going to commit us all. So that's not what we're saying. We're saying it's an accumulation of factors that is going to make a trained professional determine that this person is a danger to themselves because they can't take care of their basic needs.
Mayor Adams announcing the city will start involuntarily committing mentally ill homeless people to psychiatric facilities. Comes after a staggering $400 million cut to New York City's homeless services budget this year. Many advocates for the homeless are saying this plan will not and cannot work because the city doesn't even have the infrastructure to get it done. Alfonso Seville, formerly homeless, now advocates for the betterment of that population just trying to survive on the streets of New York, and with us now. Alfonso, welcome. Thank you so much for coming on. Tell me about your thoughts to Mayor Adams' plan. Do you think it will solve the problem in the city?
Yes, I completely support Mayor Adams' plan to remove the mentally ill, the ones that really need to be removed. I think it would work very much so.
You do? Tell me about. Have you experienced something like this, again, going to a shelter and receiving additional treatment for any issues?
No, but during my 11 years in the shelter system, I was with mentally ill for 6 of them years. So I know how they think, I know how they move. Like with this move Eric Adams is doing, once the mentally ill on the street see what's going on, a lot of them gonna cut out what they're doing because a lot of them have knowledge of what they're doing. They know that they could take their mentally illness to a certain level. So once they see that they're being removed, a lot of them will stop doing what they're doing in public.
A lot of concerns about the fact that this wasn't voluntary and that police would be getting involved and essentially taking people where they might not want to go. Adams' team had tried to address that. He released a statement saying these new protocols and trainings will ensure that agencies and systems responsible for connecting our community members with severe mental illnesses to treatments are working in unison to get them the support they need and deserve. Alfonso, could you maybe sort of describe for viewers who are watching all across the country what you've noticed when it comes to New York City's homeless population right now and what people might not realize if they haven't visited the Big Apple in some time?
What I noticed years ago, I've been advocating for the last 8, 9 years. What I noticed years ago is that a lot of the mentally ill is really taken to the street because of the conditions inside the shelters and with these shelter providers who get all this money, and they really don't put no money inside the shelters. I completely support Mayor Adams and even dealing with the NYPD. They got cameras, so everything will be recorded. So this is really nothing there, but a lot of the clients, the mentally ill clients, even me, they get assaulted more inside the shelters by the staff and by the security guards in the shelters. So that's why a lot of them really take to the street. The real problem is inside the mentally ill shelters. That's where it'll start at.
I guess everyone can really come together in saying we hope people who need help get the help that they need, so everyone has a safer time just living in New York City and going to work. If we can end on this, Alfonso, just tell me a bit about your organization, your nonprofit, and what's really its goal to help the homeless of New York.
Well, I got it's a new one. It's called a Diamond Seville Organization for my daughter and God baby name out in Coney Island. Well, it's basically dealing with this. Like our first order of business, I have my hands in getting to the 20,000 homeless clients, including me, moved to the hotels when the COVID first started. It's basically really attacking things at the root of the problem.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear you're doing well, and you're also offering assistance to those who need it right now. I know the holidays can be tough, so especially during these times. Alfonso Seville, thanks for coming on, sharing your story and your thoughts.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.